Hello, my name is Anita Raj, and I am a co-founder and teacher here at eCoreAcademy, so welcome. I'm going to be introducing our new course today, and that is eCore Express Java. Today, we're going to be looking at our crash course that covers the basics of the most popular programming language out there. Essentially, Java is a way that humans can communicate with computers so that computers can execute the tasks we want. Computers can essentially use algorithms and programming languages like Java to interpret what we want them to do and help us accomplish what we want to execute. So before I get into the lesson, I would really appreciate it if you subscribe, commented, hit the post notification bell, and shared using our socials. So let's get right into the lesson. So first, I want to go over our course outline, which covers our 5 fundamental units. Our first unit is just going to be an introduction to what Java is, to what Eclipse is. Eclipse is going to be our IDE, which is essentially our workspace, where we're going to be programming in Java and using the features of Eclipse to execute the programs that we write. I'm also going to be showing you how to install these Java and Eclipse for your specific operating system. In our second unit, we're going to be talking about inputs and outputs. In our third unit, conditional statements. In our fourth unit, loops. And in our fifth unit, methods. So on this slide and the following slides, I want to do a brief overview of what we're going to be covering in each unit. In Unit 1, Introduction to Installation, I'm going to give you a brief introduction, which is essentially this video, to what we're going to cover in Java, along with an explanation of what JShell is. JShell is essentially just really basic programming console that you can access by on Windows typing in command prompt on your Windows Explorer or typing in command prompt on your terminal on Mac OS. You can do very basic Java programming on there. You can also find errors pretty quickly, but it's not ideal for the more complicated Java programs, projects, and exercises we're going to be doing. Because we need a more developed IDE, I'm going to help you install Java, Eclipse, and Turtle Graphics. We'll do this mainly on 2 operating systems, Windows, which is my device, and I'll also give you instructions if you have a Mac OS operating system. The third operating system would be Linux, but I'll guide you to where you can find instructions to help yourself. And finally, we'll do some troubleshooting in case you're having a little bit of technical difficulties. Our second unit, we're going to be talking about input and output. First, we'll cover types of variables and how to declare them. We'll also go over expressions and different kind of statements that you can give the computer to execute your tasks. Then we'll go over some basic math operations you can do on Java, which are 4 basic operations: addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. We'll also go over modulus, and we'll do math around, and what I didn't include here, we'll teach you how to do math min, math max, things like that. Lastly, we'll teach you how to get user inputs, and we'll also use print statements for your outputs. So your computer might get inputs from the user, do something with those inputs, whether it be a calculation or comparing values, whatever it may be, and then giving a user an output back. Our next unit, Unit 3, is conditional statements. Conditional statements are pretty much statements where if an event or action occurs or is true, then something else happens that the computer responds to. So we'll break down what if statements are, which is exactly what I just said. We'll also go over if-else statements, else-if ladders, and nested conditionals, where you have conditionals within conditionals. Lastly, we'll go over and/or statements and what booleans are. This is where the true-false concept comes into play. Unit 4 will be all about loops. We'll learn about the 3 different types of loops, which include for loops, while loops, and do-while loops. Then we'll combine our previous unit on conditionals with loops. How do we use them together to make more complex exercises? And lastly, we'll go over nested loops, where you have a loop within a loop. Our last unit is on methods. Essentially, we'll break this down very simply because this is where we start going into object-oriented programming. We're not going to be covering object-oriented programming in this course because it's express and fundamental things that we'll be focusing on, but methods is pathway to get into more high-level Java. So essentially with methods, we'll go over syntax. Syntax is essentially how do we type stuff? How does the computer want us to translate human language to computer language so that it understands what we're saying? Java follows very strict protocol when it comes to syntax, so the computer understands exactly what we're trying to tell it. If you type something wrong, you're going to get an error or you're going to get some kind of warning and the task is not going to be executed properly. So we need to make sure we master syntax. We're also going to go over over concepts because, again, like I said, this is where we get into object-oriented programming. So we need to understand what exactly are we doing? What are these projects and classes we're creating? Next, we'll teach you how to set up for methods. We're going to teach you how to make main and method classes, how they come together, how you can use both of them to execute your tasks. And finally, I want to go over the course structure because we're introducing a new concept to eCoreAcademy. As you can see, Java, you might think as a new beginner programmer, is really daunting. How can we break it down in just 5 foundational units? Well, that's why we're just going to do basic Java programming in this eCore Express course. So again, only 5 foundational units just to get you that fundamental knowledge you need to be a beginner Java programmer. Each unit is going to start with about 2 to 4 videos introducing related concepts and theories to that unit topic. It's really important to understand what you're doing before just jumping into it with applications. So we're going to teach you exactly what does it mean that I'm using a print statement, I'm getting user inputs, that I use an if-else statement, things like that. Then the second half of each unit is going to include 3 to 5 videos where we just play around with creative and fun exercises related to the topic. And of course, we'll share our screens and we will show you exactly how to do them, but please feel free to pause the video and try them for yourself and then see how we do them and compare and see where you may have gone wrong, where you may have gone right, where you could have been a bit more efficient with your code, etc. And lastly, the most important part is that these videos will be 5 to 10 minutes. I hope you noticed that the new name is eCore Express. We're going to be just packing these lessons with essential information, leaving out excessive details that may confuse you or that just may be irrelevant for you to just get the basic understanding and get through this as fast as possible so that you can jump right into more application-based work and more independent work. Well, that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this introduction and you're just as excited as we are to begin this new course on basic Java programming. If you like this video, please hit the like button, subscribe button, and post notification bell. Make sure to drop a comment down below and share using our socials. Thank you, and I'll see you in the very first lesson. Bye!